The American Farm Bureau Federation and its branch in Utah has filed a motion to intervene in a lawsuit against the Obama administration's efforts to protect the Greater Sage Grouse. CEO of the Utah Farm Bureau, Randy Parker, now joins us on the phone to take a further look at the lawsuit. Thanks for joining us today, Mr. Parker.
Good to be with you. Thank you, Janet.
So can you give us an update on the lawsuit and what's taking place right now?
Sure. The state of Utah some months ago filed a lawsuit against the federal government, basically citing that they had not followed the Administrative Procedures Act and some other things, NEPA and some of those things that they're obligated to follow. But more importantly, we believe in Utah that we've done a pretty darn good job working with the federal government and looking out for the sage grouse. That's the reason why the American Farm Bureau and the Utah Farm Bureau joined together last week to file a petition to intervene in the case so that our voices could be heard for Utah farmers and ranchers, as well as farmers and ranchers across America, based on federal government overreach. And
how long has Utah been focusing on the grouse?
We've been involved with sage grouse for nearly 20 years. We've been establishing local working groups through the Utah Farm Bureau to work with our land-grant college, Utah State University, and they're experts to actually improve the habitat for the greater sage grouse, because at the same time we're looking out for the bird, we're improving the resource that the ranchers rely on to graze and to feed their cattle. So they go hand in hand.
So can you give us an overview of the amended resource management plan?
Yeah, what we're really concerned about here, Janet, is that some of the rules and regulations that they've put in the amended plans, first off, they were not opened for public comment, and we think that's short-sighted. The other piece of it that is really of concern to us is, as an example, in sage grouse areas that they've identified as priority areas, they're requiring that we move from 4 inches of stubble height, that's the grass at the end of the grazing season that would be left on the ground, to a 7-inch stubble height. Well, in some parts of Utah, being in this arid Great Basin, we don't even get 7 inches of grass through the year. That's problematic when ranchers have rights to graze on that resource. The other part of it is that to me is more of a knee-jerk response and more about getting control through the federal government than the reality of the bird. We had probably our preeminent scientist in the state of Utah make a statement last week at a sage grouse meeting that the grass height does not matter one iota to the health of the sage grouse. The reality is the health of the sagebrush is what's important to them and what's going on under the sage grouse, not the grasses that surround it in the riparian areas and so forth. It was interesting, the response of the Forest Service and the BLM. They both looked astonished because that's one of their priority changes in their amended plans.
All right. Well, Randy, thank you for taking the time to talk to us. Again, talking with Randy Parker, CEO of the Utah Farm Bureau.